At exactly 6:15 every morning, George McMillan stepped outside his modest brick home in the quiet suburbs of Asheville, wrapped his flannel robe a little tighter around his chest, and breathed in the air like it was a fresh gift. At 70 years old, he wasn't sprinting marathons or traveling the world, but there were 5 things he still did, daily without fail, that his doctor said put him in the top percentile of healthy seniors. 5 small but powerful habits. According to health experts, that meant he wasn't just surviving, he was winning at life. The first was getting up without assistance. George didn't need help rising from bed, didn't grunt or groan or hold his lower back like a man twice his age. He slid his legs over the edge of the bed, pressed his feet into the floor, and stood up in one smooth motion. Use it or lose it, he always said. Years ago, when a close friend had started struggling with stiffness and joint pain, George took it as a warning. He began doing 10 minutes of gentle stretching every morning and started using the stairs more instead of relying on the elevator at the library or doctor's office. That daily commitment to movement kept his muscles active, his balance sharp, and his confidence high. At the senior center, he saw it often. People younger than him struggling to rise from chairs, relying on walkers too early. But not George. Standing up under your own power, health experts said, was one of the clearest signs of healthy aging, and George could still do it like it was second nature. The second thing George did that marked his success at 70, carry his own groceries. He walked to the market every Tuesday morning, canvas bag over his shoulder, and filled it with the basics: bananas, oats, carrots, sometimes a small chicken or fresh fish. It wasn't about the food, really. It was about strength. Being able to carry a moderately heavy bag for a short distance signified functional strength, the kind that actually mattered in daily life. Dr. Sanders, his longtime physician, told him that grip strength and lower body stability were better indicators of longevity than any blood pressure reading or cholesterol number. And George, though he never lifted weights at a gym, maintained that strength through simple routines: tending to his garden, mowing his own lawn, climbing the ladder to clean the gutters. That bag of groceries each week, it was more than just food. It was proof that he was still independent. The third marker of his vitality was his memory. Every Thursday, George led a local book club at the library. He remembered names, plot lines, even quotes from novels he read decades ago. When he recited the first lines of Moby Dick from memory, eyes sparkled around the room. Cognitive decline was a quiet thief for many his age, but George was still sharp. He credited it to 3 things: reading every day, staying socially engaged, and doing puzzles after dinner. He had learned a new card game the month prior. Last year, he taught himself to use a tablet. He even joined an online chess group, playing against strangers in Argentina and Poland. The experts were right. If you could keep learning, keep connecting, and remember details well into your 70s, your brain was aging gracefully. George still forgot where he put his keys once in a while, but who didn't? The fourth thing George still did well was sleep soundly through the night. While many of his peers complained about waking up every 2 hours, George usually drifted off before 11 and didn't stir until dawn. He had learned, after years of restless nights in his 50s, to honor his body's rhythms. No screens after 8 p.m., no caffeine after noon, and a steady evening routine that included a warm shower and a bit of classical music. Sleep is when the body heals, Dr. Sanders often said. Good sleep reduced his risk of heart disease, helped regulate his blood sugar, and improved his mood. George felt it too. On the rare nights he slept poorly, everything felt off the next day. Being able to sleep naturally and deeply at 70 was a gift, one he protected like gold. And the fifth, and maybe most important thing George still did was laugh. He laughed with his neighbor Mary while gardening. He laughed with the bookstore owner when they joked about George never buying thrillers. He laughed on the phone with his grandson, who called him G-Pop and always asked for advice on girls. The world, George knew, could be heavy. He'd lost friends. He'd been through grief, illness, even a minor stroke at 63, but his spirit never rusted. He stayed curious, open, and light. Laughter, the experts said, was a sign of emotional resilience. It kept stress levels down, blood pressure balanced, and the immune system strong. It didn't come from being blind to life's struggles. It came from choosing to find light anyway. One afternoon, while sitting in his garden surrounded by tomatoes and basil, a younger neighbor named Terry wandered over. "You seem, I don't know, good," Terry said. "Like you're 70, but you're not old." George smiled, wiped dirt from his hands, and said, "I can get out of bed, carry my groceries, remember what I had for breakfast, sleep through the night, and laugh at the world. What more do I need?" Terry laughed. "I guess you're doing all right." "I'm not just all right," George replied. "I'm winning." And in that moment, knees strong, heart calm, and laughter dancing from his chest, he truly was.